In this video I'm going to show you how to use Dapper with some SD cards, and I have two of them here that I'm going to go ahead and plug into my computer. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a Finder window, and in my Finder window I can see the devices that are connected to my computer. And so what I'll do is I will plug in this large card first, and I'll also plug in this smaller card. You'll notice that I already see this 1 GB card is showing up. I'm also going to plug in the SanDisk card. So I have essentially two SD cards connected to my computer, 1 GB and storage. And in fact, what I'm going to do is let's rearrange this stuff so we can actually see both of them. Where did storage go? There we go. So I have 1 GB in storage, and essentially I am going to use Dapper to synchronize to cards instead of synchronizing to my DAP. I'm going to go and put those cards into my DAP. So for example, if you had an X5 that took 2 cards, you could put both of those cards into a device like this or into a USB card reader and simply sync it that way. So let's go ahead and run Dapper for the first time. Fires up, says welcome. Tells me to disconnect my DAP. That's not going to be a problem because I don't have one connected. Tells me it copies from iTunes to my DAP, and therefore it needs access to my iTunes, and it needs access to the DAP, or in this particular case to those cards. And so it's going to start with my music in iTunes. It asks me to select the music folder. That's the folder that contains my iTunes library, and typically it'll start in that place. You'll notice I have a bunch of different libraries here. I'm going to say yes. And it has a bunch of different libraries that it found. I'm going to use the small library for this example. Gives me a couple of other pieces of information in terms of what I can do. Tells me to make a Dapper folder and put my playlists into that folder for the playlists that I want to have synced. So I can actually go into iTunes and I can select my DAP here as well. I'm going to hold down Alt while I fire up iTunes, and what iTunes is actually doing is it's asking me for a library. And I'm going to go ahead and choose a library, and I'm going to select that small library. And so now I have iTunes here. I can drag it onto my laptop here. You can see I have Dapper, and inside of Dapper I've got a bunch of music. These are all playlists that do automatic synchronization. They're automatic playlists that have songs in them. But anyway, I've created my Dapper folder and I have a bunch of things in there. So I can click on Done. I don't actually need to connect my DAP because I'm going to be selecting it manually afterwards. So I can pretty much ignore this screen. I also have those 2 cards that are connected. Now it asks me to select the drive. So the first one I'm going to select is going to be, let's say, the 1 GB one. And the second one I'm going to select is going to be the storage one. Now that I've selected them, it tells me that I can spread music between the 2 cards by moving the slider. Then I can click the lock to lock in, and I can click go. So it tells me I haven't found a DAP. I didn't connect the DAP, so I couldn't automatically detect one. So what I can do first is go into the settings here. I'm going to go to Utilities. And I can select a DAP. So let's just do the FiO X5. It sets up some settings for the X5, and I can now close it. So now I have these 2 cards, the 1 GB and the other card, the storage card. They're both about the same size, and I can drag the slider in one direction or the other to spread my music between those 2 cards. Once I'm done, I can lock. Let's actually open those cards and see the stuff happening. So I can open 1 GB, and let's on this side also open storage. And go back to Dapper and click on Go, and we can watch what it does here. It's going to tell me it's going to create 4 GB, it's going to copy over, and it's going to delete some stuff that's already there. I'm just going to click on Continue. And now I can watch these 2 cards fill up with what I told it to copy. When I'm done, I'll eject those cards and I'll plug them into my DAP, and I'll be good to go.